I used to wait for my payday to hit my account. I would stress out that if one more thing came out of my checking account, it was going to cause an avalanche of overdraft fees. You guys, I don't know how this happens. On paper, I made enough to pay my bills, but I was always cutting it so close. And you know what? I don't know why it happened, but this one day I just was finally so sick of that feeling of being almost behind. You know what I mean? Where it's like one sick day, one car repair away from being behind, like for real behind. And I did not want this to be like all of the other times that I tried to save money. You know, where you just kind of give up after a while and you feel so deflated because you feel like you can't make any progress. But this time I did it. I saved up $4,800 and I am now officially 1 month ahead on all of my monthly bills. And it all just sits in my checking account as a buffer. Here's how I got 1 month ahead. Okay, first, I had to stop saying things like, oh, it's only $20, or I'm just gonna DoorDash tonight because I'm extra tired. Or how about this one coffee is not gonna make or break me. And I needed to start saying things like, I am not going to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. I am going to put all of my bills on auto pay and know that it'll all be okay. I'm gonna feel so much less stress knowing that I have a safety net of 30 days. How amazing would it feel to be able to say all of those things, right? And you guys, we are not going to discourage ourselves here and start saying the I can't, I don't, I'm not, all of the things. You know what I'm talking about here. We tell ourselves things like, I can't even seem to save $20, or I'm not organized enough for this, or my partner will never get on board, so what's the point? You guys, boo freaking who, okay? We've got to stop doing that. I actually heard a saying the other day, and it was, if we threw all of our problems into a pile and we really took a good look at everyone else's, we would grab our own problems right back. And I feel like this is true for most people. Personal struggles, they always seem like super intense, right? But when we really get a look at what somebody else's struggles are, I think it really starts to put things into perspective and maybe makes our own problems seem a lot more manageable. So yes, you can do this. You do need a plan, one that you're actually going to stick with, and you will want to track your progress. Okay, in here are the steps that I used to get 1 month ahead on my bills. And I mean the money here, okay? So let me say it that way. These are the steps that I took to get more money to put towards my month ahead on my bills, because that's what we need to know, right? Yes, we do. And these 8 steps are the same ones that I used to meet all of my money goals. This will work for anything that you want to do. You can get caught up on bills, save for a vacation, pay off your debt, pay extra on your car, have an emergency fund, all of it. Okay, so that's actually how this video is going to go. The first part, I'm going to help you get it all out on paper and show you how to track your month ahead. And then the second part of the video, I'm gonna tell you how to get the money to track for your month ahead, right? I feel like that's always the part that's missing from these types of videos. Now, you do not necessarily need this guide to get this done. You can just follow along with this video, get ready to take notes, because I'm going to go through each page and what you need to do right now. But this is linked below for those of you who would like to have it all ready to go. The steps are organized for you. It's up to you. So let's get started. Okay, so you can use this as a printable PDF, which is what I love. The hand-brain connection, you guys, runs deep on this channel. We are very old school over here, but don't worry, I will tell you how to do everything digitally as well. But if you do want to try it as a printable, because you know everyone's going analog now, it's super cool because of these things, all of the benefits you get just from writing things down. I actually love this for beginners, someone who is just getting reacquainted with their money and their paychecks. You are really digging in and ready for some change. That brain-hand connection is just amazing for that. And for my digital people, you can download this as an editable PDF and just use your annotation app on your iPad or your tablet. You guys, you can do this however you want, because either way, doing this in general is awesome. And if you pick one way and you want to change to the other, guess what? You can do that too. So here is where we start on getting 1 month ahead on all of our bills. What you're going to do is write each of your monthly bills in order from the smallest amount to the largest amount. And here's our example that we're going to be using for today's video. As you see, we started out with Netflix at $9, and each bill gets larger and larger until we are all the way down here at the bottom with our highest bill, our mortgage of $2,800. And as you can see, these are just typical bills, right? If you wanted to, you could add other expenses, which would be more variable things like groceries, household, toiletries, medications, vet visits, gas, maybe your insurance deductible. This is completely up to you if you want to add those things into your month ahead fund now, or you could just do your bills first and then do like a second round for those variable expenses. It's completely up to you. Okay, so now we're going to add up for down here at the bottom our total monthly payment, so we know how much we are going to be saving to be officially 1 month ahead. Okay, so we need $4,537 saved up to be 1 month ahead. And then if you wanted to, you can set a dated goal. If I save blank per month, it will take me blank months to be 1 month ahead. So if you wanted to, say, give yourself a goal of 1 year, you would just divide that by 12, and you would need to be putting away $378 a month for 12 months. And you know what? That may sound crazy to some of you, like something you think you could never do. But I didn't think that I would ever pay off $300,000 of consumer debt either, but here we are. So stick with me here. And I don't want you to worry about being 100% accurate and remembering every single bill you have. If you are already working on this and you've started it and a bill comes in that you forgot about, that's okay. Now you remember, just write it in and move on. You can just squeeze it in where it belongs and keep going. Okay, and now that we have this, we're gonna move on to the next page. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. And here is where we are really going to get into this, right? You're going to start with your smallest monthly bill, save that amount, and repeat. Okay, so on this page, we're going to take the smallest bill, which was our Netflix, right? And we're going to write that in here. And we're going to write that it is $9. And I bet that I can safely assume here that you have the $8 to fund your smallest bill. And that's awesome because you can literally start right now. Do not skip this one and think to yourself, I don't really need to write this down, right? It's only $8. Actually, yes, you do, because we are not discounting any part of our paychecks any longer. You are going to give that $8 the credit it deserves. You worked for that $8, so we are going to write it in here. I'm sorry, $9. You worked for that $9. And look at it now. Look at that $9. It has now funded your first bill towards your 1 month ahead on your bills fund. Completed. Yay. Look at that $9 being so useful.
This is awesome.
I know, it really is. And this is what's going to make you want to do it again and again. Now, you may only need one graph for a bill like this one. Some may take a few, some may take up the whole page. That is perfectly fine. Just keep tracking it on here. And then on your master list is where you will write your start and complete dates. So we're going to write today's date that you started it and you completed it. And then, as you can see while we're on here, the next one is Walmart Plus for $13. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to write Walmart Plus $13. So now that you've written it down, it's like on your head, right? It's in your mind that you need $15 for this next one to be completed. So when you're getting ready for work the next day, you decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to pack my lunch really quick and I'm going to save that $20 that I usually spend on lunch and I'm going to put it here. Okay? So you're going to go ahead and we'll write down that you are adding your lunch money and you've got that $13. So you'll do the same thing. You will put the day you started it and the day you completed it. But your lunch was $20, right? So you've got $7 left that you can go ahead and put towards your next one of Amazon Prime of $15. Okay, so you're halfway there on that one. And I'm thinking that you're seeing where I'm going with this at this point, right? So you just keep taking these and keeping track of them over here. So now you have these two completed monthly bills, right? You've got this $9 and you've got this $13. Now you're going to need to decide the method that you are going to use to save your money. And we have two different ones. You could do the cash, which is with some envelopes, or you could do digital cashless and use a savings account. I decided to try the cash method because, as I said earlier, I wanted to try something different, something I had never done before, and I had never tried cash before. So if you are interested in learning more about the cash method, you definitely want to check out my other videos. But here are some ideas on how you could do this. You could use, okay, so here we have a month ahead binder. And with this, what you do is you save for one bill at a time, and you've got envelopes in here to hold the savings so that you can visually track your progress. This is extremely motivating. Okay, so let's say we were going to use this one for Xfinity, right? So you would just write up here at the top, Xfinity, and let's say that your Xfinity bill is $80 a month. So down here, you could tell yourself, you know what, I want to have this in 1 month. I want to have this by March 12th. And then you can count how many pay periods you have until March 12th. And if you get paid weekly, you would have 4. If you get paid bi-weekly, you would have 2. So let's go with the 4. Let's say we're paid weekly. So now I know I need to take that $80, divide it by 4, and I'm going to make each one of these worth $20. So each week for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to take $20 and I'm going to be putting it in here 4 times. Right? And that's it. That one is completed. So you would just bring it back over to your binder. Pretend that I have $80 in here, right? And then you could take a fully funded card, put it here in the front, and you know that that one is completed, and then you could move on to your next bill. Now this binder, it is linked below for you if you like this one. It's ready to go. It's got the A6 binder, the front dash, 15 of these, and 15 envelopes. Okay, now here's where some people might say, why not put that cash in a high yield savings account? And you could, and I'm not going to tell you not to. But for me, this was not about trying to get some short-lived 4% return on my money. I was trying to get a buffer in my checking account so that I was not stressed out every freaking day of my life. But that's just me. Now, what if you don't want to, or honestly, maybe you can't spend any extra money on any of these items? You can use the small mailing envelopes, you guys. This is the dollar store special right here, $1.25 for the whole box. And all you would have to do is write, let's stick with Xfinity. Write the bill name on the front of your envelope. You would put the amount that you need down there in the corner. Put your money in the envelope. You can keep track on a piece of paper and put it in there. And when it's done, seal this baby up and just write fully funded across the back, and you are done. And as part of this guide, I actually have this for you guys. It is specifically for this. If you are already cash budgeting, what you would do is cut this out, and I'm gonna show you. Okay, there it is, all cut out, ready to go into my cash binder. And same thing, you're just gonna write Xfinity here, put the goal amount, the $80, add it to your regular cash stuffing, and just get started. These completed cash envelopes, it is completely up to you how you want to deal with these. You can keep them at home somewhere safe until they are all done, or deposit them one at a time in a savings account. Again, all of this is completely up to you how you want to handle your money and your envelopes. Or you could save digitally with no cash involved. If I was going to do it this way, I would open up a savings account with no debit card. Even if they gave me one, I would put it in a drawer and forget that it even existed. I would open the savings account with the bank that I currently have my checking account with. Just go ahead and do that online, and you could actually start today. And then for every small increment that I am saving and tracking here, I can get this right out of my checking account on payday while I'm budgeting, and it goes directly into a separate place, safe from me and my emotions and my spending, right? Okay, so let's go back to what I put here on the bottom of this page. Suggestion: keep this money in an account separate from your spending. Suggestion. You like how I use that word suggestion, like you have a choice? Well, you don't. It's not really a suggestion. That is me being nice on paper. You guys, you really gotta keep the bill money separate from everything else for real. So once you have the full amount of every bill, now it is time to take it from where you've been saving it, and you're gonna move it all over to the checking account where all of your bills are paid from. Yes, all of it. So like for our example that we've been using today of $4,500, all that is going. Now why are you freaking out? It's a buffer, it's your safety net. That's why you did this, so that anytime you have a unexpected pediatrician visit, a migraine, there's ice on the roads and you can't get to work, You just made yourself your own creditor, right? Bank of Jen, interest free. What a great feeling. And now, when one of those things happens, you have time to actually replenish it.
So crazy.
Crazy!
I know, I told you, girl, you did it. There it is. So again, since you are using this account as your bill paying and your 1 month ahead account only, you are going to want to move the rest of your money, which is your spending money, somewhere else. Anywhere else. Just get it away from your 30-day buffer. This account, direct deposits and bill paying only. When my deposit hits my personal account, I leave $965 in there every week. That is my bill money. And I take the rest of it and I put it in a separate checking account. That was my spending account. That's the one that has the debit card attached to it, right? That way I can't mess it up. And I'm pretty sure that this is the third time that I've mentioned this in this video, but I am really trying to help you out here. Don't mix that bill money. Okay, so now comes the very important part of maintaining your month ahead account. What you're gonna do is take your monthly amount, and we're gonna use our example here of $4,537. So whatever yours was, you're going to take that amount and you are going to fund it every payday. So if you get paid weekly, you're going to take this amount and you are going to divide it by 4, your 4 paydays in the month, and you would need to make sure that you are always leaving $1,134 in that account every single pay period. Now, if you are getting paid bi-weekly or bi-monthly, you're going to divide that by 2, and you would need to make sure that you are leaving that amount in that account. So you guys, you've got to keep funding it every payday with the amount it needs to maintain the 1 month ahead. Okay, that first part of the video is done. We know how to save for the month ahead. We know where to put our money. We know to keep our spending money separate from our bill money. And we know to maintain the account every payday. Let's get into the part where we are going to find and go get the money to put into our month ahead account. And this is where the 8 steps come in. Now you guys, these are work and these require you to show up every day. And no, that does not sound like fun, but neither is living paycheck to paycheck, always waiting for that one thing to happen that's going to send everything, including you, into a downward spiral. I like to think of these 8 steps as working for myself. And when you look at it that way, it will keep you from getting aggravated and throwing it all into the dumpster of despair, right? I know we can be so dramatic sometimes. I know I am. So anyway, I remember that taking the time to do all of this that I'm about to show you is going to reflect in your checking account. And it really is. It's like you're paying yourself with actual money for doing these 8 jobs that I'm about to show you. So keep that in mind when you're doing all of this, because it is work, but it is worth it. And it will get you 1 month ahead on your bills. Okay, so let's go through these, and I will be doing this fairly quickly. Step 1, do your budget. Starting off with all the fun, I know. Okay, before I lose anyone, let me say this really quickly. If you are someone who sees this budget sheet and you are immediately like, no way, I will never do that, that's okay. There are other ways that you can save money and still do this, so stick with me. Don't let this deter you from your money goals, your level ups, your rich girl life, whatever you want to call it, because I have this video that you can watch later. It is my lazy girl way to save money, no budgeting necessary, okay? So don't worry, you guys. Don't just try to scratch this whole thing because you don't want to do this part. You can still do all of the things. So anyway, for those that want to do this, but you maybe don't know how, I have these. One is for those that get paid weekly and monthly. They're going to use this budget sheet. And the other is for the ones that get paid bi-weekly, and you would use this sheet. The guide does have both of these, and there is a video, yay, linked below on how to fill this one out. And there's a video below on how to fill this one out. Yes. And honestly, doing your budget is going to save you money immediately, because if you are going to take your pay as soon as you get it and put it where it's supposed to go appropriately before you spend it on anything, you are going to be in a very good starting position. Okay, step 2 is the no spend challenge. Okay, so most of us know now what this is. Doing a no spend, no buy, it is all over the internet. If you haven't paid much attention to it or you haven't tried it yet, you definitely want to. This is actually what started everything for me, and once I saw how much I could save just by doing this one thing, everything else money related just started to literally fall into place for me. I tracked myself on a calendar just like this for 4 years, and what I did was I would mark the impulse buy days with a red marker, and then the days that I stayed on budget, I would mark those with a green. So this is in here for you too, and I have this video on how to do a no spend challenge, so that will be linked below for you as well. Huge money saver here for funding your month ahead envelopes. Okay, step 3, pause subscriptions. And here is the page from the packet. So what you'll want to do is just go ahead and write all of yours down here and then check them off after you pause or cancel them. And you guys, this is actually a really good opportunity to just check yourself too, right? Like, really see how many you have, how much they are costing you total. And then at the bottom, it says some of these may be difficult to give up at first. Look at this as an opportunity to see if you really do miss the service, because you might not. Okay, now I'm gonna say something here that I have not said on the channel in quite some time, and you might not like it, but what is something that is a lot like subscriptions, but we don't want to admit it? Our beauty appointments.
It's gonna be like that, huh?
I know, but hear me out. They really are just like other subscriptions, right?
You take that back.
You gotta go every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, like clockwork. That sounds kind of like a subscription, doesn't it?
Take that back.
The lashes, nails, hair, root touch-ups, eyebrows threaded, facials, waxing.
You take that back.
So if you really want to save some big money, maybe try to eliminate 1 or 2 of those things temporarily and see if you can do it yourself.
I need this.
Or the other option is to maybe just push those appointments out a little bit longer than what you're used to. That will save you some money too. And here's a little bonus to doing that. If you're one of those people who feel like you're going to be doing this alone, like me, yes, in the beginning it was me, myself, and I. My husband and my kids had zero interest in this saving money thing that I have decided to do. They didn't want to hear nothing about that life. But once they saw me changing my own way of doing my own things, I wasn't blaming them. I wasn't using them as my excuse. I wasn't trying to make them change. You know what they all did eventually? They started to follow my lead. Okay, step 4 is meal plan. And here's another opportunity for you to really show your family that you are serious about making changes. And seriously, you guys, do not make this harder than it needs to be. You know, this whole 3 meals a day and snacks in between is actually, it's another lie that we're sold. We do not need to eat that much. It's crazy. Okay, all right, I'm gonna stop. I know that's a whole other video, but yeah, write down some easy meals on this side, put this on the fridge, look and see what you need from the store and write it on this side, go get the food and eat it. That's it. You can make double batches and have leftovers for lunch or dinner the next night, stretch the cooking so that you don't feel like you're cooking like every single day. And think of this. Even if you buy a frozen pizza and that's dinner one night, first of all, that's a cheap meal right there, but also that is way easier than going around the whole house and asking everyone what they want from Chick-fil-A. Hand this paper over and have them write down some of the things they would like so you aren't always the one coming up with the plan. And just a little side note, I've been doing this. Place pickup orders if you are pressed for time or just absolutely hate shopping. Okay, before we move on to the next 4 ways to get a month ahead on your bills, I just want to say really quick, do not get overwhelmed by all of this. You do not have to do all 8 steps. Doing one at a time until it becomes a habit or you see that it's coming easily for you, that's perfectly fine. You can skip the ones that you know you're never gonna do. You can mix it up. It is completely up to you how you go about doing this. I mean, there's plenty to choose from here, right? Every dollar counts and every action counts. Step number 5, lower your bills. So here are the ones that I could think of to get you going and thinking about the bills that you can lower and maybe even eliminate. Down here it says this step will require you to make phone calls, cancel services, lower coverages, change companies, and learn ways to reduce usage. But it will be so worth it. You can save a ton of money with this page. And this second blank page is for you to write in anything else that you may have that I didn't think of. This is actually really good to keep up with and look over like once a year to make sure that you are always getting the best rates on things. So I just did my car insurance and my homeowner's insurance like over this last month or so. They were both up for renewal, and by switching companies on those 2 things, I was able to save close to $2,000 for the year. That is a savings of $166 a month just by looking at those 2 things that we typically set and forget. And believe me, that's exactly what those companies hope you're gonna do. So really look at this one and think about each thing. You're working for yourself, right? I mean, think about it. If your boss came into work tomorrow and came to you and said, I'm gonna give you a $2,000 a year raise, oh my God, you would be so ecstatic. You would be so excited about that. So why don't we get that excited and that ecstatic about the money that we're already making?
No idea.
I don't know either. Okay, step 6, sell items. Now I do have a video where I go step by step on how to organize any space and then how to sell online or in person, flea markets, yard sales, Facebook Marketplace. You guys, I go over all of it. These 2 pages are to get you moving into those areas of your house. And believe me, I know that this can be a huge job for some households. So just do one section at a time and follow that video, you guys. It is a really good one with a lot of good info. Obviously, selling items can be a big money maker depending on what type of items you have, right? This might end up being the only thing that you need to do to get a month ahead and do it very quickly. I personally sell a lot online, things of my own or things that I pick up at thrift stores or garage sales. It's always extra money that I end up putting right into my budget, just like regular pay. And you guys, I'm doing that working for myself thing again. Selling something to me is just like a bonus. I added this page in. I want to show you items to donate. As you are clearing out, you are going to end up with a donate pile. And I just wanted to throw this out there into the universe. Please, you guys, do not be so quick to just drop off at the Goodwill. I know that can be easier. They take everything. They seem like they're always open, right? But there are places that could really use your stuff. I wrote up here at the top, please think twice before dropping at Goodwill. Look for nursing homes, foster centers, homeless shelters, churches, women's shelters, and animal shelters nearby. They could really use your unwanted items. And here you could log the name of the place, put their contact info, ask them what days they do pickups, ask them what items they will take, and please ask them what items they need the most. Okay, all right, and we are at step 7, side jobs. Yeah, you knew that was coming. Fun, right? I know no one wants to work after they work, but don't forget, you could always turn a hobby or something that you actually enjoy into a side income too. I just mentioned that I like to do reselling. I have an estate sale to go to tomorrow. I cannot wait to go to tomorrow. Actually, there are so many good things in those photos that I'm like salivating over because I know that I can turn a really good profit on those items. In the past, I have cleaned houses. I used to buy pallets and sell those items at flea markets and on eBay. You could even just try to work some overtime, start with the job that you already have. I used to ask my boss if I could do anything for him. It didn't even have to be like within my scope of work. I was a medical office manager and I did other things for him. I painted the entire office. I used to do his marketing. I would meet with his vendors. He would allow me to take work home and rack up some hours while I was at home, which was really nice. Just ask. I mean, the worst they can do is say no. Babysit, pet sit, online tutoring. And as most of you know, now I have an Etsy shop. I have this YouTube channel. Both of these actually started out as side incomes and now are generating enough to be a full-time income for me. So you never know. Just sit and brainstorm some possibilities here. And step 8, track your spending.
But why?
Why? Because most of us do have a spending problem, and I'm not saying that to make you feel bad or like I'm judging you. I had a spending problem, Jason had a spending problem, but there's things you can do to be better about it. And this is probably the easiest, right? Just writing it down. Now, I personally have been doing this for about 4 years now, and this one thing has literally changed my behavior. I see patterns very easily by doing this. So back in the day, we had these things called ledgers, and they were attached to this other thing called a checkbook. And if you had a checking account, you had a checkbook and you had a ledger. And what we did was the minute we spent money, and I mean immediately, as soon as I left the store and got in my car, I got out my ledger and I would write down exactly what I spent and I would subtract it from my balance. Now, if there was ever a time that we should be doing it, that time is now. If when you got this paycheck, you wrote the amount of your paycheck at the top of a piece of paper, and then you deducted all of your bills and had your amount, and then every time you went and spent money, you deducted that, and you saw exactly how much money you really have in real time, everything that you're spending, you would be protecting yourself from overspending. You could forget about overdraft fees ever happening again. And you know what? You're basically just showing yourself how to live within your means. Okay, so let's take our month ahead guide and make a real guide. Okay, here it is, all ready for you to start using to get yourself ahead on your bills. And now you need to decide, are you going to be doing this with cash or cashless to save it up? Are you going to use the mailing envelopes, the cash binder with the inserts, or maybe the whole setup that's ready to go for you? And you're going to need to decide which one of these 8 ways are you going to start with. This is linked below for you if you would like to just have this all ready to go and in one place. If you are wanting to know more about the cash method, check out this video where I explain exactly how to do it, and I will see you next time.